Welcome to the Sting of Time. We're back. We're with a suspicious gap in between
Yeah,
us.
there's a barrier.
We have watched the movie for the 17th time, and we have a guest.
One guest.
Yes. Who are you?
I am Emil.
Yes.
There is, dude.
There
it's
it is.
it's Emil.
Yes. Hello. Good evening. Good day.
We both drew an image of you projected from our mind.
Yes.
You both nailed it, I think.
Yes, I feel like.
Sorry, what do you feel?
Well, I'm not going to say which one was more accurate. Mine will show up in a bit. This is yours.
Yes, this is mine. I drew this with my own hands.
With the pirogblå ögon and
Yes, exactly.
the maybe glasses. Yeah, I like it.
Very floating glasses.
Does your version have some sort of like scarf or something? Like
No, it was supposed to be like it's like the like Naruto style character design. They always have the collar. So it's like the inside of the shirt rather. So it's like a 4-dimensional shirt.
4-dimensional color.
Yeah, exactly.
We both absolutely nailed your hair color, Emil.
Yes.
This is definitely what your hair color is.
Yes. But
well, as far as the viewers know, it is. So.
Yes.
Here's mine.
Yes.
And we'll be switching between these, I suppose. I wonder what's going on. I changed your skin color at one point, and you still have this sort of blemish going on.
I like how the neck has, like the neck is a bit more tanned.
Well, it's shadow. It's in shadow.
Ah, I see. Because I thought it was like, Emil has been lying out in the sun, but only the neck. So like the top of the head was indoors or under a blanket or something.
I don't know what your tanning habits are, Emil.
No, it would be extremely rare for me to even go out in the sun voluntarily. But yeah, I guess the towel on the head would be like lore-wise correct if I would go out. So yeah.
We have watched a movie with towels on heads.
Yes, we did it. We watched it. 17th watch.
Yes, for us. First for you, I believe, Emil.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to give the guest the floor. And we ask the question, what did you feel about the movie?
Okay. So I was honestly, I was actually surprised for watching this movie, because we've been talking for some time. That I've known that you have done this project.
Yes, you were very
all the time. Yes, and I've known for quite a while that you wanted me as a guest. So I've built this idea in my head on what this movie would be like, and basically it was Xena Warrior Princess. Like that was the stuff I expected. Really shitty scenery, really shitty camera work, really shitty acting. That's the stuff I expected. Yeah. And what I got was shitty acting, shitty directing, but honestly, the scenery and the camera work is pretty good. Like I was surprised. I was actually surprised that I liked it this much, and we can go into more details later, but I have some things that I was like, I was really surprised about.
It's kind of funny that you say that, because I think both you and me, Oskar, I don't want to talk for you, but the perspective I think we both have at this point might make it like, I don't like this movie. I think it's pretty bad.
No.
But I have also watched it 17 times in a row.
Yeah.
I think we were sort of positive about it the first time. I think we felt like the movie was okay. Then again, the first episode is titled "We're Not Okay," I believe. So
yeah, I think it might be a bit of a after construction, as we say in Sweden. But rather, I can kind of relate to what Emil is saying about how the movie, when it comes to like the locales and that sort of thing in the movie, like the sets and so on, they have been kind of growing on me. Like there is there's nothing wrong with like the detail and stuff on the sets, like like the sets like the marketplace, Babylon's throne room, all the kind of stuff. There's always kind of some new little thing you can see, which is how it ends up for us is that we usually kind of start looking for these kinds of things. So
we
you
watched The Mummy 2
yeah, we did.
last episode. So if you're a person who have seen any of these episodes, like directly after that episode 16, we watched The Mummy 2, which has Scorpion King related things in it.
Some sort of relation to this movie.
Some sort of relation.
Allegedly.
And that was both a very horrible experience watching them back to back, but also the movie was way worse than The Scorpion King.
Yes.
Which is sort of insane. But a part of this I wanted to get at is that this movie, The Scorpion King, has pretty much no CGI. It has like 2 CGI snakes or something, which I think helps it immensely.
Yes, it's very I don't know really how to express it, but it's very they pointed the camera at the movie, like what we see in the movie is how they filmed it in a lot of the cases.
Yeah, I think that's kind of cool how they it's gonna sound like I like the movie. I did not, by the way, but I'm trying to find the positives here. So like since there were basically no CGI, they actually efforted the two things I liked, like the scenery and the camera work. And okay, let's split those two up. Okay, the scenery. It was a rapid movie. You moved like from scene to scene to scene. You never returned to the previous scenery. It was vibrant colors. It was like, it was rapid, and the scenes were not bad. There were like you say, a lot of different details everywhere. The tents in a certain like scene, they were like. You had furniture, you had all these different props everywhere. It was cluttered with shit, in a good way. So that was kind of cool. And when like that's basically what I have to say about the scenery. The camera work reminded me a lot about you've probably seen like the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, like those old Western movies.
Yeah, spaghetti Western.
Yeah, and like that movie in particular, I think have like because they have nothing, they have no CGI, they have no like really like they have no cool cranes or drones flying around with the cameras, so they have to work with what they have, and what they have are is like we can put the camera in this perspective instead of having this whole shot. You can do this like this perspectives, this long shot, this close up, this we have multiple cameras. So like in this movie that we've seen now, every action scene was like a guy makes a slash with a sword, and during the slash you switch camera angle every time almost. So every action moment is like enhanced by the camera work, and it's never like in Cena, where it's like the camera is just pointing there, and like so I think that was kind of cool. They worked with what they had.
It's funny that you say that, because to me, and this might be Scorpion King fatigue, I don't know. Why would I have that? But I think it's like a boon to the movie that they obviously put the camera work effort into the fight scenes, because everything else is pretty serviceable, but definitely no flash to it. Like there's no, as you say, there are no like weird crane shots or
No, but they still
insane
had the
tracking shots.
establishing shots and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So,
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
sure.
yeah.
But I'm like, I think that it's fine. It's serviceable, and I'm glad that it is that way, because to me the action scenes are all super forgettable.
Yes.
So it's good. It's good if you're aiming to watch it 52 times in a row, because you can sort of zone out of the crazy camera
Yeah.
work.
It's a bit how I thought about that a bit, but how we during this watch, when we said around the time where like the final like assault sequence of the movie starts, where we just say like, "Oh, I'm not feeling good anymore about watching this. Like this is where it starts to go like, you zone out
Yeah.
completely."
Yeah.
And I think that's because me and Lilo know here we go. Now it's like a non-stop fight scene here, which is like, just cut, and then eventually the movie is just over. So there's no more fun, like we can say delicious or assassin and the sorcerer, because everyone's just fighting. So you just kind of like switch off
Yeah.
until the credits.
I can definitely see that happening if you watch it 17 times or 50 times.
Yeah.
Did you happen to enjoy any character or any acting?
Well, the only acting that really stood out was how shitty Dwayne's acting was with all the face expressions. I liked. Let's see here. I can't say I enjoyed any particular acting here, but I liked the like how I said he was like the alpha social being, was just sitting around doing.
You mean armpits?
Yes,
Exactly.
just doing his thing of bonding with everyone he's coming across. Like he seems like a very social character. He wants to join Dwayne despite him like beating him shitless. He wants to keep going. It's just like he wanna hang around people, you know.
Yeah. It's
So
funny because I think we've talked a lot on the podcast about how we
I was
sort
gonna
of
say
like
exactly the same thing.
it. I think you can, if you listen to us talk, it can sound like we're coming around on Armpit. Like, oh wow, he's kind of a nice guy. He's loyal. He gets like berated a lot, but I also think that both of us still fucking hate Armpit.
Yes, I would drown Armpit on sight.
yeah, well, his introduction with the ants wasn't really like the best way to like be introduced.
Well, that isn't his introduction.
Yeah, he was introduced before that. He was hanging from the fat, the not
yes.
fat guy,
Yes.
trying to
also the first
torture him.
time he gets punched, beat up, knocked out by Dwayne.
Well, in my head, I'm gonna keep the ant scene as the introductory scene because that was better. But yeah,
I was gonna say, I remember that you at the start of the watch, Emil, during the like king meeting, King Pharaoh's council scene at the start, you said something like, "Oh, there's so much going on. There's so many characters in this movie." So how do you feel now after the movie in terms of like how many of those characters ended up mattering in any sort of scope?
If I remember correctly, like the fortify the fortress guy was there, yeah.
Yes, he was
and
there.
And the barbarian guy, Diablo 4 barbarian
the
guy.
Diablo 4 barbarian, exactly.
Yeah.
I assume Isis
and the
is
three.
there.
Yeah, Isis is there, but she doesn't say anything. I think.
And the three, the like Dwayne, the second guy, and the third guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Because it's funny because you have characters in that scene with speaking parts like the "no mortal can defeat Memnon" guy who is just in that scene.
Yes.
Like you don't see him ever again, and also like all the kings arguing and that sort of stuff. Like they don't matter at all. They are completely useless.
I wonder. I think it's fine. Like I think
No,
that's
yeah, absolutely,
like
absolutely.
world building, but it's it's funny in relation to like, oh, look at all these characters.
Yeah, exactly. Like, like because I loved how I love the kind of the energy of, all right, let's get ready to focus what's going on and what's the politics of this movie. Like, that doesn't matter. It's
Yeah, the thing is,
completely
like, I'm a person. I have a pretty bad memory. Yeah, so I usually live in the moment, and that kind of scene is very troublesome because there are a lot of
yeah,
faces, a lot of like. There's no one is really introduced. They just say shit
exactly.
that maybe matters and maybe it doesn't. You don't know because there's no real emphasis on anyone in regards to either camera work or. Like how they pronounce their stuff or whatever. Everyone matters in that scene.
Yeah.
So it's like a scene with no perspective. It's just like everyone's in the center.
That
And it's
scene
weird.
is great at establishing how people in the Scorpion King universe speak like entirely in either contradictions or tautology. It's all they do. It's like Balthazar is like, you would trust our future with the cutthroats who kill for money.
Yeah,
And the king
exactly.
is like, they are more than cutthroats. They are assassins who kill for money. And what?
Yeah.
Wait, what? And the whole
Memnon will stop at nothing. Memnon will stop at
yeah,
nothing.
exactly. And as long as one of us breathes, the sorcerer will die.
Yeah, there's David Hayter really nailed it.
Yes.
With the script.
I think it's co-written by Stephen Sommers as well.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't put all the blame about every single aspect of the movie on David Hayter.
But it might be story by Sommers and
Yes, that's true. So I think we should
Hater.
put
So
blame.
yeah, put all blame on Hater.
It was also kind of a weird watch because we talked a lot about Diablo 2 during the watch, yeah.
Yes.
And this is probably because I played 10 billion hours of Diablo 2, and it's like it was hard to shake. Like I started to believe that this was the Diablo 2 universe.
Started to believe your own legend.
Yes, like it started just with like the opening scene in the movie before the intro. Like you saw Dwayne going in from the smoke with a multi-shot. Like I was like instantly thinking Amazon.
You know,
I just kept going with the sorceress and
Well,
enigmaing everywhere.
It is funny because it's good to hear that you were already in Diablo 2 land, because I was thinking afterwards and like, well, did I push it too hard? Because I remember I went pretty hard on, look, Emil, it's D2 Sork. It's D2 Sork. And then I kept saying over in Lootco Lane all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think I said, look, it's Enigma every time they teleported.
Yeah.
And
but it started with the multi-shot.
Okay,
like
good.
it was already established.
You were already there.
Yes, I was already there. So
no, listening to this, it kind of got me thinking a bit how, arguably, you could say that the intro for the movie, like with the not Vikings and stuff, is basically it's a bit reminiscent of the cinematic intro to Diablo 2 with the tavern thing where the wanderer comes in, because a big chaotic battle takes place. It's snowing outside. It is not really connected to the rest of the game in that sense. So maybe the movie is really Diablo 2.
yes, maybe.
Well, it was that all along. And then the mummy returns is Act 3.
Dwayne is the wanderer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess he becomes the scorpion beast.
Yeah, he had to abandon all his friendships after he rammed the soul stone into his huge forehead.
Into his what?
What?
So, how about you guys? What was like the did you guys get any new takes on from this watch?
Did
you see something new?
You said one new thing. I struggle to remember what it was, but you said the thing
Venom.
that's true. That was new. That the cave,
Oh, yeah,
the
that is
Arcadian
Venom.
cave, is the home of Venom.
Exactly.
and that's true. But I was
Shadow is
thinking
Venom.
about how Leeloo, you said something. There was one thing you said. I've never registered this before, and it feels like they added
Oh no,
this
I
into the
didn't
movie.
say it was the first time. I said because I have noticed that before. In the very beginning of the movie, the
Oh yeah,
not
now I remember.
Viking guy says, "Which limb shall I take first?" And that
Exactly.
insert scene feels definitely like it has shown up, like maybe the last 3 watches or something.
Exactly. There was that.
But as far as because generally, Emil, I don't know if you have listened to any episode. I mean, you are a close friend of ours that has access to us in like our actual persons whenever.
Yes.
Yes.
So
The
maybe
actual persons, the non-thing persons.
and maybe not the core audience for this sort of thing. But we generally sort of it's sort of loosely formed, but we tend to talk about how our emotional state is after the watch, and
Yep.
also if or well what our favorite part of the movie
Yeah, exactly.
this viewing was. And generally, if there's anything new, it's always the best thing in the movie.
What was your favorite part this watch, Leeloo?
I think I'm gonna have to think about that. So maybe we can start with you, Emil, as your first. Do you have like what was the absolute best? It can be as small or as big as you want.
Okay. So despite the good stuff I've said already about the movie, yeah, let's go into like the narrative or the lines or whatever. The best part, this might have been a mishearing from me. Like I might have misheard this, but if what I heard is what I heard, then this was the best part. I think it was Mimnon.
Meme
Yes, Mimnon. I can't remember who said something like you're gonna upset the gods, something like that. And and I think it was Mimnon who answered, "Oh, just the gods, Shad." I think that's a good line.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's when she says it would be the gods would be angered if you killed the Acadian or
Yes.
something,
Oh
and he
yeah,
goes,
in
"Just
the
the
temple,
And
gods."
exactly.
just the gods. Okay, I can deal with that. I think that was probably the best part
I
of the movie.
think what the script and I think what is supposed to be implied is that he's saying that she's attracted to Dwayne.
Oh,
It's just the gods, or maybe it's you who don't want me to kill.
okay. Because in my head, he's saying, "Ah, the gods. I don't care. I can deal with those." Uh, like this, implying there's something bigger. There's something more scary than the gods. That he would be more afraid of dealing with. Um, yeah, or implying that he's basically the biggest baddest there is, and not even the gods can deal with him. So yeah, that was my take on it. I don't know if it's correct, but I think that was cool.
Art is about interpretation, right?
Yes.
So
I also liked the camel
yes.
a lot. Like the camel, there are some really memorable scenes. Like when he roped down from the camel into
Yeah.
the village. Like that shit is just like it's so stupid and it's so mind-bogglingly insane that it made the cut. And that would makes it.
And they played that music over it.
Yes.
Yes.
Do, do, do,
Yeah.
do, do, do.
Yeah, we also we should say that we watched this movie with like this CC kind of subtitles, so it states what's
Yeah.
going on besides speech. So the music part was kind of cool too because it said like intense rock music continues.
This is how you're supposed to feel about this music.
Yeah, that was also
Mystical
funny.
Arabian flute music.
Yes. Okay, that's
yes.
basically me.
I found my favorite part
Yes,
because
me
I
too.
realized that I did actually notice something new this viewing. Is that when, which is weird because this is a part of the movie that is great. It's a very short period that's great, but it is great. When they're in the oasis and Philos, Theoden, drinks water and he goes, delicious. I have never thought about his weird leather hat cap because I said at some point in the movie, Oskar, when are you going to get one of these leather caps? And I realized then that he's drinking out of his hat.
Yeah. Multitasking.
Yes.
Multi-purpose
Multi-purpose hat.
Exactly.
Yes. So that's my favorite part. Him drinking out of the hat.
I can tell that you've seen this movie quite a few times. If that's your favorite part of the movie, that's.
But it was the only, like, if my the graph for how I'm feeling is like a flat line.
Yeah.
That one
was, like
was
one
a
heartbeat.
very slight bump, and then we moved back.
Yeah. My favorite part. At first I was starting to think, I didn't have a favorite part. I was just, kind of zoned out the entire thing and just, doing my standard Scorp bits. But then I think my favorite part this time, which I haven't really focused on to the same degree as with it this time, is I really found a new appreciation for the Falcon, the Falconeer Falcon, because Emil brought attention to the like blind cap hat thing that the Falcon wears.
Can I just interrupt for 1 second? I realized something about the Falconeer this viewing as well. Is if we are assuming that the subtitles are gospel, then he's actually called the Falconer because that's how they spell it.
Yes, exactly. The Falconer.
Yes. Sorry, go ahead.
I should say sorry. I'm talking about the Falconer's Falcon. Is something that I paid more attention to, and I had previously seen that it does wear, the blind hat thing, so that wasn't new, but I kept, focusing on the Falcon the entire time, and for 1 second, it was just like this drive-by small comment I made, which was like, the Falcon flew back wearing the blind hat, because it just, kind of snap cuts back to he's already made the trip back to Gomorrah. And that image was really funny to me in my head, because I had also said that notice how he's still wearing the helmet, like after they dig out Thorax body and so on. So the Falcons has no clue what's going on. The Falcon's completely clueless. It's like, what the hell, bros? What happened? And then it became really funny that he then just flew back while still not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty funny image to consider the fact that there are 0 shots in this movie of someone releasing a Falcon. Yes. So they probably tried, and the Falcon probably went apeshit. I think
that's absolute. So yeah, so that's why the Falcon is always like, under lock and key completely. It's like some kind of anime villain or whatever, containment thing. I don't know. Can't release him or he'll destroy all of Gomorrah. I don't know.
Yeah.
The Falcon was really cool. This watch.
Nice.
Emotional state.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask. I'm actually gonna say that I don't really care about your emotional state, Emil, because you're free from this.
Yes, your emotions don't really factor in because this is gonna be over for you.
Yeah.
After this call ends.
But I feel like maybe you could. Like, what is your projection of how do you think we'll make it?
Yes.
Okay, that's.
Well, I think you might probably have, a more confident, insight into these kinds of projects and how, and more, assuredly be able to just instantly say, yes, I think you'll make it, because you know what we are capable of.
I mean, I've known you two for what, 10, 12 years, something like that. I don't know. I was like,
something like that.
Yeah, that's a long time. So I mean, that's basically what I'm going on here. I think
in those 12 years, we've done a lot of stupid things like this. So.
because I had a thought the other day. A thought crept into my mind, and this is related to my emotional state, I suppose. I was brushing my teeth, and I thought the thought that cropped up was, I was like envisioning in my mindscape an episode of Sting of Time, and me just saying, "Why don't we just stop? Why don't we just stop doing this?"
I mean, it's a valid question, but I mean, why would you stop? That's also a valid question.
Yeah.
I think
because-
I landed on the fact that nobody, like, I was about to say nobody remembers someone who watches The Scorpion King 17 times. I don't think anybody remembers someone who watches it 52 times either. But watching it 52 times, that is something. It's hard to put
Yes.
words to what it is, but it is something. Watching it 17 times is not a thing.
It's achieving the goal because you have the goal of 52 times, yeah?
Do you think we'll know what it is once we have watched it 52 times?
No, I think that's for someone else.
Yes, I think so too.
But that's where I've landed. I've landed in not wanting to, but knowing that I have to.
Yeah. I'd like to reiterate, because I think it was last watch or maybe the watch before that where you asked me, so how I feel about it, how do I feel the journey thus far, and I still stand by this that I don't know why we started, and when we started, I didn't really know either what it was we started. I just did it because I just do things. So and I still feel that way, and I think I'm gonna keep feeling that way until the very end, and then I will be somewhat interested in seeing what I will be feeling then compared to now.
I think, and maybe you guys can chime in on this, on if you think this is a reasonable take or not. But I also get the feeling that at around let's say like 47 or something, when there's the end is like very like palpably close, I could see it's starting to be like scary to not do it, like the thought of not doing
absolutely. That's like the ominous cloud over this entire thing, that there's gonna be a Monday where we don't watch Sting of Time, and it's gonna feel like you're fucking up somehow.
Yeah.
Or it's like
I'm supposed to do something here.
Yeah.
It's like I guess like when you quit school or something like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
And you're never going back to that same school. You're never gonna go back to that lunchroom. You're never gonna go have that teacher again. But you're gonna go on to something new. Yeah, there's something else in the horizon. You're gonna grab it.
Well,
yeah, you never know.
There have been ruminations in these lands already about what's gonna happen after Sting of Time, and then those have been perilous talks indeed. So I'm not sure I want to linger on that point.
I think I've definitely landed in that. I don't want to think about. Well, I don't really want to think about the Scorpion King or doing this other than the allotted time slot of doing it.
Exactly. That has come up a lot.
Yeah, of course.
It's already unbearable.
Yeah. It's already unproportional amounts of lifetime going into this. So, yeah.
But when you think it isn't that much, like the time-wise isn't necessarily that much. It is. It's a lot, but like it's not. It's if you like cut it down, maybe we will have wasted like 3 days in total.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sure. Like objectively speaking, if you only look at the time, like on the clock, and but if you consider that if you would eat an ice cream for 20 minutes and you really enjoyed it, it wouldn't feel like 20 minutes. But watching this movie 52 times, like the final 20 times, those 2 hours every time will feel a lot slower than eating that ice cream.
It'll feel like eating 20 really disgusting ice creams.
Yeah.
52 times.
So I mean, it's not a lot of time if you look at it objectively, but if you look at inside your mind,
I don't
quite a
want to
long
look
time.
inside my mind.
Yeah, what I'm thinking a bit, it's gonna be, I think it will be a bit of a clarity moment where it will bring a new perspective on stuff, like, you know, you can see maybe how many hours have I spent on this like video game, like in Steam, or like writing slash played in an MMO or stuff like that. When you just see a number and you're like, oh, that is a number that I have spent on this. That now when we will have concrete proof of how much time have we spent on Scorpion King, uh, when this is over, that will really bring those sorts of things into a new perspective for me, because I can easily, you know, watch that like or see I spent 60 hours in this video game I played, and be like, that's completely normal, you know, it was a long game. But then it will be like, I spent 60 hours watching Scorpion King over the course of a year, then that will probably make me not want to play video games ever again. You know, it could happen.
That is true. I've thought a little bit about, maybe this is my closing thought here, but I've thought a little bit about how you can't really, I should say, we have talked about how you can improve the experience of watching the movie. And generally, you can only improve it by like putting a twist on it that forces you to look at the movie in a very different way, or well, I should just say that can be a guest, or it can be watching it in black and white with
Black and white with
Nosferatu theme
audio track.
But it is funny that if you're doing something that isn't affecting your perspective on the movie, you can't make it better. I find the idea interesting that you can't like eat ice cream, because that's what made me think about it even, is that if you eat snacks and watch this movie,
Yeah, the snacks incident.
snacks are bad. It just like it you're just sad that you don't have any more snacks, and then you realize you have to watch the movie.
Yes.
Maybe you could get snacks at the horrible part, at the dip.
Yeah, like right when they're going to storm like the palace, that's when you bring out the snacks.
Yeah.
Like the snakes bring the snacks, yeah?
Yeah, the snakes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all I had.
Yeah. I think that's a great closing statement.
Yeah,
I have nothing to
add. Thanks so much for being a guest, Emil, and
thanks for having me.
Making the movie more bearable.
Yes.
And
but the movie should still not be watched by anyone. No matter how bearable it or unbearable it is. It's always unbearable.
Don't watch the movie unless we ask you.
Yes. And even then, think twice.